Welcome to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host and the newest Strongest Style world champion, the living legend Logan Hurston. And I'm of course joined by my co-host, the gimmick killer, Cooper Prater.
Don't fucking talk to me.
And our other co-host, make way for the Chud. He is a giant, Jack Dudley.
This is the kind of week in wrestling where I don't even have to say anything. You all know what I'm thinking.
It's devious. Yeah, welcome back. This is a different episode of Strongest Style than your normal ones because this is what we call just the yell at each other hour, where me and Cooper will be yelling at Jack while he sits there. We'll just be mauling while he sits there chill the whole time as the world melts around him.
This is the best case to be had for doing this remotely, because if we were in person, I don't think that this would go well.
No, I'd be in danger. The funny thing about all this is the fact that months ago now, I said, like, hey, they're doing something with this guy, like, big with this guy, Callum, and nobody believed me. And now all this has happened.
Because of you.
Yeah.
This is what...
I mean, dude he had his Discord profile as Newman with the caption "A new man for a new era" like 8 months ago. I never thought.
It's really funny. And oh man.
Well,
it's you gotta change your profile now. What are you doing with that Suji profile, son?
Oh man, he's still my guy. But New Japan Pro Wrestling is so, like, it's blindingly white right now. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it all.
We're gonna get into that. There. That's gonna be the meat and potatoes of this show. But we are on the road to AEW Dynasty, and it looks like a new man is invading that road. Piss me off, man. The Prince of Piss. This is an exciting episode because me and Jack were together in person for half of the worst wrestling week of all time. And I have many stories that I cannot believe I get to tell on this podcast. That I was on Jack's bachelor trip the night that the pasty Alex Houston looking white boy won of all titles, the version 4. Like, he couldn't... That is the most version 5 guy I've ever seen. And he gets the whole V4. Hate it here, man.
Not only that...
Oh my God, yeah.
Not only that, he is the youngest ever.
Shut up.
He's taken away a precious accolade from one of the most washed unks in all of wrestling. We do not fuck with Nakamura anymore. we know that he has been completely replaced and superannuated by the Prince. I speak for everyone.
You do not speak for everyone. This is so funny after last week when Bomaye made it to, like, what, top 8 finisher of all time.
The top 5 should have been... The top 3 should have been Excalibur, Oz Cutter, Princess Curse,
Oz Cutter.
They should have all been up there. They should have been all up there.
All right, we'll save that. We're going to save that. But moving on to other wrestling news. It's a real mixed bag this week. A lot of negative. Some positive. Dani Luna is a free agent, which I don't think we got to mention last week. So hopefully...
No, because I don't think it happened after we had recorded.
Yeah, probably not.
That's a very exciting news.
I hope she's dub bound. I really do.
I hope so too. I mean, AEW's women's division is looking a little rudderless at the minute. But with a Tony Stormless main title scene, a Mercedes Monet-less for the time being at least, TBS title scene. And, the tag belts are always kind of whatever. Although looking a little bit better now that they're on Cross and Bane.
True.
But yeah, I think of her viable options, I am, of course, obviously, pulling for an AW run, selfishly. And I think that is likely given the kind of wrestler that she is, and also just even the fact that she's leaving TNA. I mean, that is kind of a statement in and of itself. People don't, generally speaking, make a thing about leaving a WWE partner promotion if they're just going to jump right into WWE proper. Typically, they want to onboard those people through the NXT system, and like the way they did with Jordan Grace and whatever the other the guy,
Slater,
Joe Hendry. Oh yeah, Slater now, I guess too. He's kind of getting that spot. And we'll talk about Slater in a little bit too. But, I think, just the kind of wrestler that she is. If you've ever seen any Dani Luna match in your entire life, I'm sure she would still be good, obviously, but WWE would have no idea how to handle a performer like her, and AEW I think has a better chance of showing her strengths. Or maybe she doesn't want to do any of that shit. Maybe she just wants to, have fun on the indies. Maybe go back to England. Maybe do a Stardom run. Maybe do a Sendai Girls run. Hopefully, please. Please do a Sendai Girls run. The world is her oyster. But obviously, I hope that she chooses one particular oyster.
I hope too. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I agree with like her going to WWE, especially because like even if she wasn't like doing that path, that is the typical one. She hasn't even appeared on like NXT at all, and
yeah, she's not been one of the people that they earmarked.
I mean she's tight with Windsor, who's obviously a part of AEW and part of a lot of that Rev Pro crop that have seemed to been very friendly with AEW and stuff like that. Like I think Slater was an outlier because he was so young type thing. And he started working out with the Hardys, and the Hardys were like, yeah, don't go to AEW, brother, But yeah, I think Luna has always been someone that I feel like has been earmarked. I feel like the only reason she wouldn't have ended up in AEW is like if AEW didn't offer her anything, which Tony's not stupid, Big Jake Doyle's been in his ear and been like, yo, you need to get her.
Oh yeah, Jake Doyle, High On, I know.
Oh yeah,
literally tweeted like, hey, we should run back our TPW feud in like ROH or AEW or something,
And Amanada's shared locker rooms too with her, so like I'm sure. And I don't know.
Oh my god, yeah, I would love Amanada.
I don't know if she's ever fought Emmy. Did she ever fight Emmy while she was in DPW?
I think Luna came around just a little bit after Emmy Sakura was a DPW regular.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I'd be shocked if she leaves and doesn't end up there. Especially with like the way TNA is. I think she would have stayed in TNA for a while. But, with this mass like exodus or a lot of like the talent who aren't really like TNA stalwarts, that I don't think we're going to see a lot of. TNA does what TNA does. And any wrestler with a sense of mind, once they get enough of that rub from TNA, they know to jump ship, They don't want to end up like Moose and Eddie Edwards,
Sure. They'll, I mean, it's about, it's as much as some talking heads like, Bully Ray or Dave LaGreca or whoever the fuck wants to talk about, hey, they get that TV deal. They get the TV deal. They're number two. Let's be entirely honest with ourselves. That shit is not happening in any of our lifetimes. They are always going to be number three as long as two other American promotions exist. It doesn't even have to be AEW.
True.
Like AEW could go under tomorrow, and then MLW would be the number 2.
Right? Yeah.
They're about to get jumped to like number 4 or 5. Maple Leaf Pro, brother. They put the tag titles on the Good Brothers.
Well, in the States, that's what I'm saying.
Well, North America, you know, if you count North America.
People don't consider that. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's just as much. Yeah, if that's true, then CMLL is like number 2. They're just as much in there.
Oh, that's true.
You mean
Yeah.
They have white people as the focus. That's the difference.
yeah. Logan's moved on from his misogyny arc, and he's on his racism arc.
Oh, come on, man.
That can't. If that's really true, Logan, you have to be with me with supporting Newman later on in this episode.
Absolutely not. I hate Newman. Well, I'm glad that dispels those rumors when I talk about this colonizer coming into New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh my god.
The British, what can I say about them? Yeah, no, I don't know why. I just wanted to make a joke about Maple Leaf Pro. It is funny, though, that, like, the one time TNA actually seemed to, like, possibly turn a corner again, they fired Scott D'Amore, like, frame 1, and then half the talent left.
I mean, yeah, look, man, I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, I think, that, you know, I don't know when exactly Carlos Silva came into the picture over there, if he was around pre-D'Amore firing or not, but I mean, he at least has been very much kind of the face of this, you know, TNA as NXT feeder system push, and, you know, him, the network that he represents, you know, like, I'm sure they were just like, that was always kind of the goal, was like, just how can we get with WWE? How can we get with WWE? And, like, you know, and I understand maybe where that started from, because when that started, you know, that was like 2023, right? So that was like prime, you know, Bloodline cinema, whatever, like, you know, fucking people pretended to give a shit about LA Knight, like, you know, like WWE was like hot shit there in 2023, you know, so like it made sense, I guess, from their perspective at the time. But yeah, I mean, and D'Amore, like, obviously, I think is a pretty talented guy and a talented booker, but just has his own distinct kind of style, his own way of doing things, and you can tell that with how he runs Maple Leaf Pro, because it's the exact same way that he ran TNA.
Yeah,
it's TNA Canada, and you know, I just that it was not going to work out, unfortunately, which is certain. I think he deserved that bigger spotlight,
but yeah, speaking of TNA, I guess we'll get into the kind of news, kind of not. Nothing's really happened yet, but
sure, it's not official, but, you know, people can kind of get a sense for where the wind is blowing, and if this all turns out to be bullshit, and, you know, this stuff goes on as planned, then egg on our faces, I suppose, for even talking about it. But it does seem as though TNA might be in the process of pulling some of their contracted talent from some WrestleMania weekend indie dates that they've been taking. This comes as a kind of broader, I think, approach from that, like it comes as a speculation due to like a broader approach from them to have their talent work less indie dates overall, and people have, because of that, kind of now been questioning whether or not these WrestleMania weekend dates will stand. In particular, obviously, the big ones that people have been kind of like dooming about are the prior announced Ricochet versus Leon Slater match for the, I think, March Hitchcock show, and I think MJF versus Nick Nemeth. or
Yes,
some other show.
Create a Pro, which that's not WrestleMania. That's the start of May.
Okay.
Where it's gonna be Nemeth versus MJF at Create a Pro, which that's obviously, for those who don't know, Create a Pro is Brian Myers and Pat Buck's pro wrestling school. They also run shows. MJF is a student of Myers and Pat Buck. Buck's in AEW, obviously, but Myers works for TNA. They also helped train Chris Statlander, Max Caster, Gabby Forza, to name a few. There's probably some other. The guy on the Major Wrestling Figures podcast. Smart Mark Sterling. There you go. There's one of your graduates. Illustrious
real
class.
Real prestigious.
Yeah. It is. Well, I mean, they did have two, a men's and a women's world champion and a tag team champion, which is pretty, they can't all be hits, But
sure.
It was an interesting angle because apparently, I guess, I don't know if this just came as, like, if, I think what happened was basically they worked an old-timey, feud with a little bit of modern sensibilities of having Twitter, which is Nemeth, or I'm just going to refer to him as Dolph Ziggler. I don't know why. Nope, all right, Nemeth. What was he? He's talking about Max on, I think.
Why was that like such a wires getting crossed moment for you? Like, do you in your head still refer to him as Ziggler?
I see him as Zigzag Guy. The problem is when I see the name Nemeth, even though it's his brother, I think that's Ryan Nemeth, man. That's the only Nemeth in wrestling to me.
That is hilarious because I straight up forgot that Ryan Nemeth existed until you said his name right now.
Anyway, Nemeth said stuff about MJF in interviews. I don't know if it might have been on Busted Open. Probably it was on Busted Open. MJF sent a fake thing, which basically keep your name out of keep my name out of your effing mouth. Then they announced it for Create a Pro. And then now, I think MJF's already tweeted about it, been like, I'm going to be at the show regardless if this goes through or not. If he wants to come, wrestle me, if your boss allows you to, then you can come get this butt whooping. Apparently, there was a report from Fightful that said that MJF was supposed to wrestle Bear Bronson at a GCW show, but TNA axed that because they didn't want Bronson to lose. They're both Bronson's another Create a Pro guy, him and MJF are longtime friends. I'm pretty sure he was a groomsman at his wedding, but they did let Jody Threat versus Mercedes Moné happen because Jody Threat won the title, so they were fine with that.
There's a whole bunch of I'm sure strings attached to all of these things, as is common in professional wrestling. Everybody's trying to politic and get their preferred talent over.
It would have been funny though if Mercedes dropped every title and then wrestled Jody and then beat her, just so now knowing all this TNA bollocks.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. No, not to you. I don't care. I say again, it's ultimately these are indie shows. Nobody loses shine in losing in one of these. And anybody who's been around in wrestling knows you only make more money when you lose. You have to lose. It makes you a better worker, it makes you more dependable, makes you more likely to get booked because you're more willing to do more things. You don't want to lose all the time, but again, guys who are losing to MJF are losing to the world champion of a promotion. They're not going to lose their luster, And every time MJF's going to cheat or some way, So it's
it's the Flair model, Flair would beat you in your home territory, when he was NWA champ and going all around the world, he would beat your top guy. Your territory's, number one, babyface, but he would, obviously either, be a chicken shit about it and find some kind of loophole or cheat, or he would just run out the clock and you guys would go to a time limit, like that. It's a very old school kind of way of doing things, and that worked for like the better part of like 30-40 years. And yeah, I don't know why people are so kind of antsy about it now.
I think it still works, man. Like we still have that in almost every heel, and just not even going to territories, just in modern wrestling. But I don't know. TNA's stupid. Half their workers are indie workers anyway, and lose matches to other small indie guys. So it's like,
I mean, that's really like kind of the main thing that I take issue with this. I mean, other than just the fact that TNA is a psyop, and that like I think that their dissolution would probably be better for the overall wrestling world. But like the contracts that they are on right now, like I don't know the intimate details of all of them, but I'll tell you what, they're probably not much better than like the lowest NXT contract,
Yeah.
Probably not much. And I would venture to guess a large portion of their roster, of their contracted roster, makes a substantial amount of their money, maybe, I don't know how much, maybe half, maybe over half, on their continued indie bookings. And if TNA is really gonna, make this line in the sand kind of decision about them taking less indie dates, like overall, I think that sucks. I mean, if it's a like a purely petty thing, and like if it's just for like AEW partnered like wrestlers and promotion, like, okay, that's I guess one thing that also sucks, and like it, like, just I think paints TNA in a worse light in most fans' eyes. But like, at least I guess it makes business sense for them. If it's a blanket rule for indie bookings overall, I really truly do not understand what the mindset is behind that, other than just to, I don't know, like what, like save up your roster's health for when they can, I don't know, job to Brindley Reese on Evolve on Tubi, like, I don't know, So.
Yeah. I don't know. It's stupid, but that's just wrestling companies, man. Apparently, I don't think TNA talent are happy about it, because again, like, anybody knows, these are matches where you're gonna get paid on an indie day like this. Especially if with like stuff like MJF, I'm sure he would make them pay the other wrestler, especially if they're buddies with them pretty well or more than their normal rate or stuff like that. Of course. And it helps get their name out and stuff like that, but whatever. Moving on. Okay, we've hit the TNA stuff. We're saving the Jericho for AEW. Saving the Prince of Piss for New Japan.
Oh.
Is there anything else other than the Pat McAfee stuff?
Yes, there is, because you're forgetting, as you always do, you racist, about the best promotion in the world, CMLL.
I hate. I don't like when you can't do that, man. You just can't. Well, no. Are we talking about CMLL right now, or are we talking about CMLL news?
There's news.
Okay.
Things happened. Things did happen.
Yes, La Catalina.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Which is funny, because I've been like looking at the Twitter news about it all week, but there's so much stuff that happened this week, Cooper.
There is so much. But you are racist. So.
That's not true. That's not true.
All right, so I mean, it's not too much, but yes. For anybody keeping track in lucha circles, this one was making the rounds quite a bit. Just a couple of days ago, I think. Actually, it might have been yesterday.
It was like yesterday.
As of time of recording, yeah. CMLL officially announced that La Catalina was no longer under contract with them. She's been removed from the roster, and she is now a free agent, and they wish her the best of luck in her future endeavors. Which I don't know. So is the general gist seemed to be that this was not super surprising, which I concur with. I mean, like, La Catalina, for those unaware, Chilean wrestler, has been with CMLL for like it's 2026, so like probably 4, maybe 5 years, 4 or 5 years now, I think. Formally, and she actually kind of got her start after, I assume, like wrestling in like Chilean promotions and indie stuff, like actually got picked up by WWE very, very young, and was on television. She was like on like Raw and stuff, like
for like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, during like the Thunderdome kind of pandemic era. She was under a mask at that time, and I forget what they called her, but like they were like, you know, putting her in, I don't know, like I think a mixed team with Sakura. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I'm pulling way back in the banks for this, but so she was in WWE. Got kind of a short little main roster stint because it was the pandemic and we were throwing shit at the wall. Then I think she got sent back down to NXT for some more development, and I think she got released pretty unceremoniously. And then went into CMLL. And I think her run in CMLL has been beneficial for her. She has improved, certainly, since, you know, her WWE run. I mean, like now she can legitimately like put like a pretty decent little match together. I have never quite like loved any of her work, and I don't know how much of that is down to her as a performer and how much of it is just down to also she has not been given very much spotlight by the booking in CMLL. Like a like semi-featured player, but there's always been another woman at the top of the division that has way overshadowed her. In that earlier on, used to be Stephanie Vaquer when she was still in CMLL. Now it's kind of Persephone. There's always La Catalina has kind of been stuck in this always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of situation.
Yes.
So I don't necessarily blame her at all for, you know, wanting to branch out and see what else she can do. Whether if that's in Mexico still, if that's in Lucha Libre circles, or if that's, you know, maybe trying to get back in to the American scene, maybe, you know, under like a WWE or WWE affiliated promotion. I don't really see her going to AEW much at all. I mean, like, she's never been a big part of any of like the kind of crossover stuff that AEW and CMLL have ever done.
Well, she did have that match with Tony, I think, after she first shot the title, and I think she beat her, right?
I forget exactly what the deal was there. But like, still though, she's never come across like somebody that Tony has his eye on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, certainly not in the same way like Stephanie O'Hare before she got, you know, snatched up by WWE in a hot second. Like, Tony Khan was gunning for her. Like,
yeah, that's true.
And that has not really so much been the case with La Catalina. Like, and so yeah, I mean, like, it is interesting. A lot of the speculation is that she's probably going to go to AAA, which, if that is the case, would, I think, really kind of be the first big move since the WWE acquisition of a CMLL talent to AAA. Which, like, I in this instance don't think means much, because I don't think La Catalina is gonna, like, particularly, like, move their needle one way or another. But, like, you know, could maybe be the canary in the coal mine for, you know, other bigger names down the road. You know, because WWE's intention with AAA is very much to overtake CMLL as the number one Mexican promotion at the minute, but, you know, that's been kind of going rough for them. So you know, they will need more big names, and specifically big names from CMLL in order to do that. And La Catalina is a name, but you know, I think, you know, it's just going to have to be kind of wait and see sort of situation with her and where she goes and what it means for anything.
Well, it is interesting because I have paid a lot of attention to Catalina, because I haven't, again, especially, like, I'm not a racist, first of all. I'm going to start by saying that. But I will not, I have found it harder to find CMLL stuff, but of the few names I know from their women's division, Catalina was one of the first ones that's always popped up for me. Like, I can't even. Could you tell me somebody in AAA's women's division right now?
Zohua, or however you pronounce that.
Lahidra.
Yeah.
I think they might. No, I think Fabi Apache might have gone back to CMLL. No, I think Fabi Apache is still with.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Olympia.
They have some names.
They have some names, but, like,
a lot of them have shown up. I'm exposed to a lot of them because a lot of them do Korikins with Stardom pretty often.
Yep.
I don't watch much CMLL either.
But the thing is, like, with Catalina is she's
Stephanie. That's a big one we didn't talk about.
Well, yeah. But Catalina's so young is a thing. Like, she's 25. I think she got into WWE at 18. I think, and I did look it up. She had, like, her original. She just went by Catalina for those years. She was on Raw, like 2019, 2020, and then I forget something Cortez. She changed her name to for, like, NXT for a brief stint. She did wrestle the Sun Goddess Saray whenever she was Saray.
Oh,
that is crazy.
On 205 Live.
The past was a different universe.
Yeah. And, like, and I remember her, like, talking about that time of being, like, a very stressful, and she, like, hated it, and basically, like, it almost killed her love for professional wrestling. She used her money to go finish university and was gonna quit, and her dad, like, talked her into continuing it, and that's where she ended up in CMLL in 2023. And again, it is something like, she was a big rival Vaquer. People thought she might take the title off of her. Vaquer leaves, and then she doesn't get the title. And now Persephone's just, like, jumped over her in the pecking order. Some people were saying some of the frustration of her leaving was now, especially with that AEW and CMLL partnership, and with a lot of a decent amount of AEW's women's doing a lot of CMLL dates and mixing it up with that women's roster, it feels like she's getting lower and lower on the pecking order. Like, it doesn't feel like there's going to be a moment where she is going to be the main featured player. Like, she's going to be the women in that division. And so I now remembering, like, how bad, like, she was stressed and stuff with NXT, I think she'll sign a AAA contract and probably work for them and try to become the face of their division. And knowing WWE, and because Regal already saw stuff in her, I wouldn't be shocked if she can get that rub and stay in Mexico and be in a better headspace. But at the same time, if she does become something in AAA, she's basically a hop, skip away from going back to NXT whenever they want her. But she is at the same time going to have to, like, she's kind of the same place. Even if she jumps, it's interesting because like they're just sending any NXT women down to AAA all the time. They send all the Evolve girls. They're sending Lila Vice all the time. Like, I don't know if she'll necessarily be the star if that's what she's looking for. She might get a world title push but I don't know. We'll see. I don't see her going. Obviously, I don't see her going to AEW. She does love Kenny Omega though, so who knows, you know. But yeah, AAA probably seems like a sure landing spot. And if she doesn't end up in that or AEW, I think she probably just retires at 25 and uses her degree and, you know,
yeah,
she'll come back to it whenever she wants kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, becomes a normal functioning member of society.
Yeah, she's got a degree, man, so she can at any point become I think she was it's a physical therapist, so, you know.
It's not bad money.
When we go down to arena in Mexico and Cooper gets a crick in his neck, we know where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. To Catalina MD.
But the last bit, we don't normally talk about WWE, but me and Jack had the unfortunate tale of watching the opening segment of SmackDown. You'll get a kick out. I'll go ahead and tell the story. So
This was no, Logan could tell. I thought you said you go ahead and tell the story. No. I think you should. Yeah.
So this weekend, me and Jack, along with some of Jack's family and friends, and his fiance's family and friends, had a joint bachelor and bachelorette party in Orlando, Florida, home of the Performance Center. And we went to sunny Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And this was the first time I've met any of Jack's siblings. I've heard a lot about the Dudley family over the years, but I've not seen any of them. I knew some of them were in WWE. So I was with his older brother.
Well, most are. Yeah.
Not most. Newell isn't. So
Newell. Yeah, he's getting disowned probably for that.
Which is crazy because he's the youngest. This is like prime time to get in. You know.
He loves basketball and Kanye.
He's even worse.
Do not let him on NBA Twitter, brother.
He
Do not let him.
Found a worse option than being a WWE fan.
The thing is, though, because he's into Kanye, he might end up being a New Japan fan because Yano is in a music video along with like Despy and stuff.
Fuck.
It all comes back around.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. But Jack's brother Cliff was very tired the whole first travel day. We were debating on like if we had a rental car. We're debating on if he had to go back to the airport and help pick up. Some other people were coming in later, and he's like, "Nah, I'm too tired." And I was like, "You gonna watch SmackDown tonight?" He said, "Oh yeah, we're watching SmackDown." So I was like, "Okay." 7:05 rolls around. Me and Jack are talking, chilling. You know, he's like, "Oh, SmackDown's on," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll cast the TV." Throw it on. The American Roller Coaster is in the ring, yelling about Randy Orton. Randy Orton comes out. I stop paying attention. I start talking to Jack, and all of a sudden I hear, "Pat McAfee!" And I'm not lying. His 6'3" older brother was on his knees in defeat.
Dude.
And we watched
He was devastated.
this awful promo where McAfee talked in circles for like 10 minutes about how wrestling used to be better and the Attitude Era, and that apparently 5'4" wrestlers are putting on 45-minute Ironman matches, which I don't know if there's 45 minutes of wrestling on SmackDown on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I was about to say, God, I fucking wish.
Yeah, that's what my boss said who watched the product. He's like, "Hey, I don't even know if there's that much wrestling on a SmackDown on a weekly." Finally, he kicks Cody Rhodes in the balls. They beat him up. Cody is so laying on the ground in the background this whole promo, looking like the most pathetic bastard of all time. And then as it's over, he just looks at me. He's like, "That was awful," and he just leaves the room. He doesn't even watch the rest of the show. And for the rest of the weekend, if you brought up Pat McAfee, it was like an air of despair.
He was, yeah.
We made it into, we played Jackbox.
Okay.
Yeah. We made it. We played Jackbox, and Pat McAfee getting executed was brought up many times during that game. So, you know, I don't know if Triple H does. People were like, it's a TKO call, and I'm like, I don't care, bro. They're just spinning that. This is a Triple H call. I just believe they're trying to do damage control, man. You know.
So. Cliff is really good at like convincing himself that something really exciting is going to happen, and then getting pretty bummed out when it doesn't. He was like, "Shit, maybe it's The Rock or something." Like he's a smart guy. I'm not trying to rag on him, but he does seem to really get into his ideas of what will happen. But I don't think anyone like could have expected something worse than this. So, fair enough. I mean, I think any person really into WWE that's not, I guess, the kind of audience they want would be disappointed. It's really stupid and bad. It doesn't make any sense, and the whole storyline sucks. And yeah.
It is.
Sucks. It really sucks.
It is funny. I saw on Twitter someone, it was like a promo for Dynasty where MJF versus Kenny, and someone quoted it and said, "Where's the celebrity?" Which just, you know, it is funny. Like, some people are like, "Oh, this is exactly what they did back in the day with like Mike Tyson and Sidney Lauper," and I'm like, no, it's not. The difference is Mike Tyson was like the number one boxer in the world and had like an air to legitimacy. Pat McAfee was a punter 10 years ago in the NFL and is just known as the internet. Like, I don't even hate McAfee like everybody else does, but like, I don't know, man. That's like, that's like the fastest way to kill any momentum for anything.
It's just stupid. Like,
how do you think that's going to sell tickets? Apparently, Jelly Rolls in Cody's corner now. I don't know if you heard about that. So
they've gone. I did not hear about that. They've gone really hard with the stupid celebrity shit this year at WrestleMania. There's also Speed in a match, and they've got Lil Yachty teaming up with Trick Williams.
What?
Yeah, he not in a match, but he is in his corner in the
okay, man.
The IC Championship match.
I know. I saw Lil Yachty tweet about it, but I was like, I don't know what he was doing. I will say
that's who they paired him with.
Speed is funny to me. I'm fine with that.
I like Speed too. Speed can come. He can come join United Empire in my book. We've got no qualms with that.
I mean, anybody can join United Empire. I mean, let's be honest.
Only the elite. Only the absolute elite.
Yeah, I'm about to say. But yeah, it's just like, it's one thing to be like celebrity overload, but like at least get cool celebrities, you know, like let's not get like the D-list or like the most
this is who Paul Levesque thinks is cool,
I guess.
And more importantly, this is who the prime WWE demographic thinks is cool.
I don't think they think McAfee's cool anymore, man. I don't know. I don't think any of them think Jelly Roll's cool.
I don't know. That.
Well, Logan, the prime WWE demographic is a toddler. They think shapes and colors are cool.
To be fair, I think if you showed a toddler Jelly Roll, though, they would just cry. Like, they would be, like, in fear, you know?
Nah, Jelly Roll's cool as hell. I can't even lie.
Jelly Roll's cool in my book, Jack says. He can join United Empire.
Yeah. Jelly Roll, Jack approved.
Yeah. I'm making sure that I am the ultimate antagonist of this episode.
I'll never forget.
Everything that is hated will be liked by me.
I think this was pre-Cooper WBGL when they had like Jelly Roll perform for like 20 minutes during a pay-per-view. Like one of the first episodes we did, and it was terrible acoustic. I was like, what are we doing, man? Like, but yeah, I don't know. WWE sucks. You know, they found a way to make something hot and then immediately cool it off with Pat McAfee, and it's not moving any tickets, which is hilarious to me.
How hot was it though before that?
I paid attention to it. I thought the segments were at least like interesting. Like Randy like Pillmanized Cody, which I thought was cool. Like he got some blood in there.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's not like the greatest thing ever. Look, I'm not saying it's like red hot, but I'm saying like for a mostly boring feud that I was like, we're like, whatever. They made it interesting, and then they immediately just spat in the face in that by putting the human equivalent of a squirrel in Pat McAfee there. You know? I don't know. Who cares? Fed sucks.
I like squirrels. I like squirrels.
Okay, what would you say he's equivalent of? What's something negative you can say, Cooper?
Pat McAfee is the human equivalent of the one alarm noise on the iPhone settings, the one that goes.
Oh man,
And like I have to set to make sure that I wake up in the morning.
That's a good one.
That's what Pat McAfee's the human equivalent of. Like, you know, and I mean, like, I don't know. I look at all this stuff, and obviously I'm, you know, coming at it from an inherently antagonistic perspective as well. But I don't know. I can't help but look at all these WWE fans and just think, have you guys ever heard of the parable of the scorpion and the frog? Like, it's in his nature. Of course he's going to sting you. What are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Or as the parable of my friend group is, the equivalent of being a fan of it is the equivalent of being on a roller coaster where you know you're going to get hit in the nuts, but you do it anyway. Because you think, maybe one time I won't get hit in the nuts. Maybe you'll get all the way to the end, maybe you'll get to the start, but at some point they're going to hit you in the nuts. Right. We did watch like the majority of an episode of WWE Evolve on Tubi.
Oh, yeah, what's the Sapolsky verse up to these days?
I'm not lying.
I mean,
like, you know, when I was like defending NXT 2.0 when we like were doing the podcast, I'm like, it's not that bad.
Yeah. You
like everybody was like, this is the worst thing ever.
In the
right?
Splattered paint.
I was in the splattered paint, right? This is what like I envision like what you guys saw on NXT 2.0. Like this is like some of the worst things I've ever seen. Like unironically, this makes NXT 2.0 look like prime ECW, brother.
It's
like
genuinely, I'll say this, like it doesn't come through watching just main roster programming. But when you dig into NXT and Evolve and other things of like that nature, the developmental stuff right now, it is genuinely shocking to see what WWE is trying to teach these kids. Like, as a wrestling fan, you should be concerned about how many young prospects are being taught this. And I'm not even joking at all. It's like they're plotting, like they're like evil masterminds plotting the death of wrestling is how it feels watching these things. They're trying to corrupt every single young wrestler.
I've always
to their cause. Because I mean, fuck, like there is some real wrestling on the 6 hours of main roster TV. There's not really much at all of that. Like in Evolve, it's funny how and how absolutely like ridiculous, like total just clownery it becomes when you strip away the budget. And that's not to say that like it's like all smoke and mirrors hiding the bullshit that WWE peddles most of the time. But you strip that away, it's just like oh my god, what is happening? You know, like genuinely, what is happening for a guy like Mike Cunningham to be on my TV screen? And feel like he can say that with his whole chest, the main man energy shtick, and say that he's gonna mog the competition on TV, like he's an 80, like with the inflection of an 80s cartoon, you know, character. It's total nonsense. It's total nonsense, and am sad for every wrestler that feels like, they have to join this company to make a living because it's perverted. It's genuinely perverted. That's how I feel when I watch Evolve and watch NXT most of the time.
Yeah, it is Gooner wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like well, like I didn't even I paid like half a cup of attention because former DPW guy, sort of DPW guy, and LeBron Cozone trainee.
No, he was a DPW.
He was, but he wasn't like a full-fledged, like, he was there for, a little bit, but he wasn't like ever like a super main featured player. Jackson Drake. And so, like, I'm like expecting to see Drake. He had lost the title the week before. Do you know he's the Evolve champion right now?
It's Aaron Rourke,
yep.
Isn't it?
Yep, it is actually.
Yes, because I saw the clip of him winning it, which that's kind of a cool choice, I think, actually.
Yeah, the evil gay guy. That's his nickname, right? Evil gay. That is his ID nickname. Yes. His name was Evil Gay. I have never heard of Aaron Rourke before this, so I don't know. Have you? I guess you have. Cooper.
Vaguely, yeah. I think just a couple of little indie spots. But yeah, he is, I believe, actually gay. So he
is. No, it's his nickname.
He does market himself as that by his own choice. So I think it's cool. I don't know.
Yes, no, that's a choice. It is cool to see that, especially on super mega WWE programming. But. It was just I was expecting Jackson Drake, so he introed the show, and I was like, "Who is this?" He's also bald.
Yes, very very bald.
Which, because I looked up his WWE ID picture, which does say "Evil Gay," Aaron Rourke. That is not me trying to be homophobic. I will say
maybe don't put that on the website. Maybe.
Yeah. The Rev Pro Zoya guy apparently is in WWE now. And
that's the most obvious fucking thing that's ever happened. I could have told you that from the second I laid eyes on him.
He was in the VIP section of the show with another guy who he wrestled next week, and they watched the thing. There is a wrestler on the show, Cooper. Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
Do y'all think there's like an alternate universe out there where Josiah is the youngest ever IWGP Heavyweight Champion? Leader of United Empire?
No. He didn't meet Ospreay in Essex when he was like 15, brother.
Yeah. This is all also considering the fact that for any of this to be possible, that Zozoya has to be a real person, which I'm not entirely sure.
You're at least convinced.
What's crazy is if you click on his Instagram, it's like there's still like one of the top results is him versus Sabre Jr. for Rev Pro. I'm like, brother, you got to take that off. You're in NXT now. But no, did he? We'll get into that later. But anyway, we get into the show, and there is a wrestler that like I cannot believe exists. Like, it's like when people make fun of indie gimmicks. This is what I think they're imagining. It is a wrestler. The name of the wrestler is It's Gall. It is a man who is very ginger. He is wearing Miami Vice type colored tights, pink and baby blue. He has like a half Anchorman, like Superman type, like flip up cut, but the other half of his head is like shaved, half off, and it looks.
This guy wasn't good.
No, and the whole time he just like gets in the ring, and goes, "It's Gall," and that's all he did. It was like
he has like a New England or like a Boston accent. I think
it was like if an AI created a wrestler. Like, this is what the AI was going into.
It's funny because we're going to be talking about Callum Newman.
No.
That's true. I know. I was waiting to get into that.
It's just
the song that you keep saying, bro.
Okay, wait. So hold on. This guy's name is.
It's Gall.
G-A-L Gall.
G-A-L Gall.
Like It's Pat, the famous, one of the greatest SNL movies ever made.
Yes, it's.
Yeah, okay.
And he wrestled.
First name It's, last name Gall.
The guy who was formerly Mike Vachiko, if I remember correctly, on the Indies, and like he was in like
Activecchio from WXW.
You know his name is now, right?
No.
Dorian Von Du.
Von Du?
Yeah, Von Du.
Von Du, bro.
Not
Von
even.
Du.
They couldn't even add the M.
No.
Make it Von Du.
No,
Awesome.
it's DUX, but they pronounced it on the show Von Du. Yeah. And he came out to like no reaction whatsoever. The commentary was terrible. They had a match. They had like a main event, which is a fatal 5-way that included Wendy Chu and Nikita Lyons. And I'm like,
oh, Wendy Chu's still employed?
Yes. She's back to doing her normal gimmick, and she's in Evolve.
Oh, she's not doing the
spooky gimmick. No, she's
thing?
just not sleepy, not spooky. She's just normal Wendy Chu. Yeah, we didn't watch the main event. We got at that point everyone had walked out of the room, and I'm like, I can't watch any more of this. I watched the Starboy program, the match, and it was so obviously that he was the only
No. Say his full name.
The Protostar, Chaz Starboy Hall. I'm pretty sure Chaz Hall is like a murderer's name too. I'm like a serial killer or something like that. Yeah, it was some type of person who did a crime. If you look up Chaz Hall.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Like they could just call him, if you don't want to call him Starboy Charlie, call him Starboy Hall. Can't call him Starboy Chaz, but like that's awful. Chaz, like that's the cool name you're gonna give him.
Bad name.
That's a bad
It
name.
should be Starboy Chaz. That is better.
No, that's worse. That's worse.
That's a great name. They should do that.
He wrestled. I don't even remember the guys he wrestled. Honestly, one of them was a Cody guy. That's all I remember because Jack
Yeah, one
clocked
was
him.
Nightmare Factory.
He did say keep stepping. So, but yeah, just awful stuff all around. Timothy Thatcher was in a backstage promo with the girl who got very angry, and when he walked away, picked up a chair as him to hit him in the back with it. And all I could think about is as I watched this and I saw that Evolve Championship was like, that used to mean something to me. Like that used to really mean something to me. And like I remember when they brought it back, I was like, "This is cool," and I'm like, "This is like we."
You're like you saw that championship and you're like Drew Gulak. Yeah.
No, I saw that championship. I thought Timothy Thatcher. Yeah. I thought of Keith Lee.
Timothy Thatcher is the general manager of
I know.
WWE Evolve. Did y'all know this?
I thought
Wait, what?
Timothy Thatcher is the on-screen general manager of WWE.
That's what I was saying. He was in a backstage promo. They made the guy who's like the worst promo ever the general manager of Evolve.
Like a coach or something.
No,
he's a GM.
Because he thinks he deserves to live, but man, that's
because some girl was like, "You need to put me in this match for an opportunity at the Evolve title," and he's like, "You got to earn it," and then he walked away. And then she like picked up a chair and acted like she was gonna hit him with it. And I'm like, "What are we doing?"
Man.
They were doing an homage to the iconic United Empire New Year Dash angle. That was the reference.
I think you mean that's the Shield chair, brother. But yeah, that's Evolve. I'm not lying. I was like, we put it on and we had some people who like barely ever watch wrestling, and I was like embarrassed. I was like, this is probably the worst thing. Luckily, Jack's friend Sarita then asked to be shown a John Cena match, which I obliged by putting on John Cena versus Umaga at the Royal Rumble 2007. Because I'm like, you're either gonna love this or you're gonna hate it. But either way, I'm going to show you a match that I like.
Right, yeah. But
anyway, moving on to Sakura Genesis.
What?
His mic just peeked out. You couldn't even hear the cutoff.
I know we're like all so excited to talk about this. One of the most exciting, and really special and unexpected moments happened in wrestling this week. Aren't we all excited about the possibility of Takeshita versus Sonata at Dominion this year.
I am excited for that possibility, to be fair.
That's what
But
everyone's
sadly,
talking about coming out of the show.
what's the next pay-per-view, though, before Dominion?
Wrestling Dontaku, but they have a special Takeshita and Shota Umino versus Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi match there instead.
And also Takeshita versus Chase, right?
Chase Owens, in one of the TV title openers, yes.
What are we doing?
I think this little mini feud is kind of funny. I know, fuck Chase Owens, but I guess this gives you an idea of what my wrestling sensibilities are. This gives you more and more reason to just disregard anything I say.
You turn your mind off when you watch New Japan.
No.
You just turn anything critical. You're just like, it's good now.
I think the House of Torture shitters, like, being sort of a secondary antagonists of this story is funny to me. I liked the Shota Yujiro match leading into the Open Challenge, leading into them doing shit in this match. I think it's a funny side story, and I think it's harmless. And I think if this was like still 2017, nobody would be batting an eye. But I guess people are a lot more tired of these guys now than they were back then. Maybe for good reason, but either way.
Well, the difference was Yujiro is a good wrestler. Chase Owens isn't.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I agree, but at the same time, part of me is like, the mid-card doesn't always have to be that good to be, good. That's kind of how I feel. Like, I don't expect the TV championship scene to be anything more than like a fun distraction. And I think this is a fun distraction leading to Sonata's return. And I am like praying on my knees, praying that they have some sense and just give Sonata the fucking House of Torture and give up on the Narita experiment. I think that is obviously the right decision, but some would say not a lot of right decisions are being made in New Japan right now. Some would say otherwise. Some might be about to say otherwise throughout the next 1 hour segment of this show. So we will have to wait and see. What did y'all think was interesting about Sakura Genesis this year? There's a lot to talk about. We had the return of Will Ospreay, Jake Lee finally hitting his final form as the full like black and white Joker. We had Jun Kasai and Best of the Super Juniors. We had Knockout Brothers versus TMDK in a banger. I don't think much else happened.
So
I'm trying to think.
I watched 3 matches. I did not watch the Ospreay return because I didn't get enough time to. And
it was just a normal preview tag. Besides the fact that he was there, so don't feel.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was like anything. Like, I didn't hear anything amazing from it. I watched the Ubino Takeshita time limit draw, which I thought was very good.
It was very good, and I think Takeshita is like finally since the Tsuji program, I think he's finally like finding his way in New Japan. Honestly, a lot more than what I hear about what's been happening to him in his other, promotions these days. I think he's really finding a good role for himself.
Bro was literally the world champion like 4 months ago, and now he's finding his way.
He was a good champion. He was a good champion, but it did, we talked back then about how like his character felt very conflicted and confused, and I don't think that's the case anymore. I think he's very cool. He's like a heel-leaning outsider, but with morals. I think New Japan, what I really feel about New Japan right now, is that I think House of Torture, part of the reason why I'm so harsh on them, is because there are a lot of good heels right now with the United Empire revamp and Takeshita running around. And honestly, I'm excited about this new Gabe gimmick. I think there's way too many good bad guys for us to still be doing the same House of Torture stick without the one good guy that was in there, except for Sonata. I guess he's about to be back. Yeah, that's how I feel. I think there's a lot of great baddies running around in New Japan right now.
There was like 6 good there were 6 good members of House of Torture, and one of them left.
Yeah, but the ones that are focused on are all the bad ones. I guess unless you fuck with the Don, like I know.
Yeah. Well, the Don, you got Yujiro. Obviously, Whiskey Dick is always good, but they're never going to focus on them. And then Sonata good. But But my thing is, like, I thought that match was great. I didn't watch the Will stuff because I was just like, I got so much of it in the main event that I don't feel like I necessarily needed it. It's interesting you talked about Takeshita's ideology and him finding his footing thing, with him being like an outsider with morals, because I felt like that type of like one way you look at it, one way or the other ideology is what you really get in the Knockout Brothers match versus TMDK.
True, that was a super cool match, yeah.
Where it was basically a singles match between Oiwa and Ice, with every once in a while the other two tag partners would jump in to like, oh yes, we're also in this match. But there was just so many long stretches where it was just Ice versus Oiwa, and I think their ideology like thing, it's something that it does kind of piss me off about New Japan commentary, is I think Chris is such a stupid homer about everything. Like, he just picks favorites, and like, I think in the Ice Oiwa match is the one that I think like should most be like neutral on both, because I think there's good, like, I think Walker, brings around well eventually, but like Chris, it kind of took me out of it a little bit, where he's like such a Ice homer. And I'm like, yes, Ice is cool, but like Oiwa's not doing anything wrong. He's not the heel here. He's just trying.
Ice is cool.
Okay.
Yudo
is cool.
Point to make, yeah.
Well, it's a serious point to make. He's treating it like an art, and also it's like, to do anything to win. He's not cheating to win. He's doing everything by the rules in the context of professional wrestling. He's just trying to find a solution, which it seems it may not be the most exciting thing, but it's not a heel thing. And you can, at the same time, Yudo is definitely, or Ice is a heel. I can say that. You can quote me on that one.
No, I think that's true.
I mean, like, especially like the end of the match where Ice was just like stupidly disrespectful to Oiwa afterwards, like kicking him while he was down and trying to yank him up and stepping on top of him. I really want another one of these matches. I feel like this wasn't like I feel like this was the middle part of the story. I don't know how you feel about that, Jack.
That's so funny, but you're right, but that's so funny because these guys have like faced each other 4 times now, I think. But I think you're right. I think that's true about the brothers in TMDK, and I think it's true about the brothers in Umino and Uemura. I think like those two feuds are ones I don't feel like I'd mind seeing just constantly sprinkled throughout, New Japan for a very long time. That's how the tag division kind of used to be. In those peak years everyone talks about. Like, there were only a few tag teams at a time, but they managed to make it pretty exciting, like to see Gorillas of Destiny versus Evil and Sonata for the 1000th time, or whoever else was, in the mix. Sometimes it got a little bit much, but it was never a dull feud. They were just sort of like, they were the top guys in that division. There can only be a couple. So I definitely think there's more to be told with this story. I think people say this about Yuto a lot. He's very good about building these feuds with his fellow guys, bringing stuff out of them that we haven't seen before. He understands that, a lot of New Japan's best moments are based on connections between certain wrestlers, more than just following one wrestler's story. They focus a lot on how interactions between the guys really shape their careers, shape their personalities. And he's developed these interesting, connections now with Shota and with Yuya and with Oiwa. And I think it will continue. I'm excited to see him in the G1. I'm excited to see how emotional he can get with every little guy he ends up facing in the G1 this year. This was really, like, the brothers are kind of just amazing. And it's super cool how they, like, are basically the other main event in every single pay-per-view of 2026. They're kind of, it's one of those it's one of those scenarios where they're really just as much what you're coming to see as the world as the heavyweight championship. It's always special when that happens in pro wrestling.
Well, there was a great call on commentary where it said they're the most dominant champions since Giant Bernard and Machine Gun, where they held that belt for a year. Did I say the wrong wrestler? Jack, you're looking at me. Or is it which one? Giant Bernard's the one.
No, they were.
Okay, yeah.
Giant Bernard and Anderson did hold the tag titles for a very long time.
They held it for like a year.
Bad
intentions, yeah. They held it for a year, and they hit like I think 10, version 10. And I can honestly see with the way the brothers are now, I still feel like we have so much focus on the other young guys that like, as good as Yuto is, I don't think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get a decent run in the G1. I don't think he's gonna be like a semifinalist.
I don't care about him winning. I just think he'll be one of the more interesting guys.
It is interesting because again they didn't come in. They came in right after the last G1. They've basically been in the tag division up until this. Yuto got his Tata match, but
yeah,
this Cup was like the first time we've really seen them true singles in a while, and both of them really getting eliminated early on, but just their capabilities as a tag team shines through. Like, I mean, Yuto got a big kick out. I think he kicked out of like a Zack driver into like a stalling suplex or something like that, and kicked out at 2.999. But it'll be interesting to see like G1 wise what they do, because everybody's just saying that they think Yuto is going to be like the future, which I'm not necessarily subscribing to that theory yet. I think he could be, but I also think Gato's booking, so you never know. But with them already at version 5, I wouldn't be shocked if like I think Hinare and who's his tag partner? Oh, Fap and No Fap. I think Hinare and Okan are gonna win this number one contendership and lose, but look great. They're gonna get another match. We'll get another US show. That'll put version 7. I think they're gonna drop them to Bishamon at before Tag League or at Wrestle Kingdom. I could see them getting like a full year's long run and them at least like tying, if not breaking that version 10 that was done by Bernard and Anderson and Bad Intentions.
Yeah.
But I could see an interesting story where they drop it right before Tag League to like a Bishamon or something like that, like a very like a tag team that's been around for a long time, where maybe they will drop it to a TMDK or a Shoya after their 4th, 5th match, and then them winning Tag League and getting that under their belt, to further the dominance of the year. But I don't know what you think about that.
No, I mean, I think really like they could at this point lose it at any time to any team, and that's always exciting. Like they've made their mark, and I could see them, winning any future match or losing it, to be honest. Also, when it's a championship, the V, it's weird because they use it for two different things, but the reason they use V for the defenses is because it stands for victory. So it's victories. It's not version like it is with championships. I know it's super fucking weird and confusing, but that's the reason it's like that.
Okay, but
yeah,
I thought this match was great. It's a match of the year for me. I don't think Cooper watched it. Did you, Cooper? Did you watch anything? No. Okay. He's not even gonna. He's not even gonna put in his voice for this segment. But I thought this was a great match. I thought it overshined the main event. Obviously, I thought
it was not a bad. It was not a bad match. It was not a bad match.
Oiwa getting his mean streak, I really liked. I wish he would have went a little bit longer, because like Ice got a big kick out and stuff, and then Oiwa just like loses to the knee. I forget what he calls that knee. The not the bomba clot, but it's the other one. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if there is a name or what the name is.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see how long the brothers hold this belt. I feel like they're going to hold it for at least till Dominion. I think that's the earliest they drop it. I say probably, I wouldn't be shocked if I think they drop it either before Tag League or at Kingdom. That's my prediction. One of those two. They drop before Tag League, they win Tag League, they win those belts back, or at least win Tag League, just to say they've won Tag League to put that accomplishment behind them, or drop it. Sleepy. Sorry. This Callum Newman is making me sleepy.
One of the most exciting, dynamic wrestlers in pro wrestling these days. I mean, I feel like no reason to beat around the bush anymore. We can start talking about it now. New Japan did something fucking insane that nobody saw coming. And they put the belt on Callum Newman this pay-per-view on Sakura Genesis. He became the youngest IWGP Heavyweight Champion of all time. And United Empire and all their shit, I guess, that I've been talking about for the past half a year now, is now the main storyline really going on in New Japan. I mean, look, I do have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings about this. I'm not completely sold. As much as I like to joke, I am definitely more positive on it than any one of you and a lot of people. It is bold, no doubt. It is fucking bold, and it's just that's the first thing I have to say about it. It's something that you would not have expected, that really none of us expected, that they did. And I think, as much as some people are really clowning on it, I think you would be... Fuck, I know I'm going to catch so much flack for what I'm about to say. I think it would be a hard argument to make that this did not get the reaction that they wanted. It got people talking about New Japan. It made serious headlines. It got a point across that they wanted, to be put across. Like, New Japan's whole thing right now is this new youth movement, and that's not true for a lot of U.S. companies whose main event scene is kind of populated by some pretty old vets. And I think the fact that it went so viral, on Twitter, and people saw youngest IWGP Heavyweight Champion crowned, I think that got a lot of people interested, because that's not happening. That's not even close to happening really anywhere else in wrestling right now. It's like, oh shit, really? A 23-year-old? The argument about whether or not it's good, whether or not he is good, is an entirely separate one. But I think this is less like... I genuinely think that this is less like an upset, like the Don Fale one, where you're like throwing your books at the floor and being like, what the hell are they doing? This is so stupid. I think you can see the thought process here and understand it, even if you think he's a shit wrestler, even if you think it made Tsuji look kind of weak. I think that the plan here was very clear once it came into focus. I'll stop now, and we'll reconvene.
Okay, two things. One, me and Jack were originally going to stay up and watch this match, and then Jack's like, I don't think it's a good idea. So I slept on the couch, and after a rough night on the couch, I'm woken up to Jack, and he goes, Logan. Callum Newman, he said, you won't believe it, Callum Newman is the IWGP champion. And I said, you're effing with me. He said, no, I'm not. I said, you're screwing with me. You're lying to me.
That would have been great if I was screwing.
And he had to show me. He had to show me the image for me to believe it. This is a terrible decision, and this is why I'll tell you why. because I understand your points that it's bold, and I understand that New Japan has a problem with top heels right now. But see, the problem is it's not because that's not why they should put the title on Newman. Because what they should have done is put the title on Finlay or Gabe at any point last year when they had them tied down. David Finlay did not go to WWE. He ended up settling for AEW. I think if you would actually invested in the guy who went through the New Japan dojo, and you would have invested in a guy who's been good enough to be a top heel, who brought in the Knockout Brothers, who brought in the War Dogs, who's only challenged for the world title like one time in his career, then you wouldn't need Newman because he probably would have sticked around.
You are right about that.
And this is an even bolder one, I think Gabe Kidd, if he was given the world title, would have stuck around for another year. And I think Gabe Kidd would be a better heel than Newman is right now. My problems with Newman, and I watched this match, and like we were talking about it, I just don't, like, I don't even think he's like a terrible, no good, very bad wrestler. I don't think he's a good one. I think he's very rough. He's 23 years old. Like, he is not ready to be the world champion of a major promotion at 23. And it shows. Some people are. Some people are very, like, are wrestling savants or they're prodigies that can lift a company and be a world champion this time. Newman is not. Okada was. Newman isn't. Newman is not. He is a world champion, but this is not because he's some great wrestler. He's a world champion because he's Will Ospreay's protege who got brought into the system when Ospreay was coming out and basically christened by Ospreay as like the next big thing. And they had no other heels at the time, so they decided to do something bold. The problem with Newman is, yes, he can have good matches, but he cannot have great matches because he's just off on a lot of the little things, the fundamentals. I would say you watch a match, there's 5 or 6 times you're going to see him hit a move that just does not connect at all, that looks wonky and bad. You're not going to see much psychology, I feel like, most of the time. Or it feels like, again, like a lot of people use the Shota match, for example, of like the table spot. But like watching that, like it makes no logistical sense. It takes me out of the pro wrestling part of it. Because when I watch a match, obviously I know I'm going into watching it. This is fake. This is not fake, but this is not two people trying to kill each other, you know? Mm-hmm. There's a suspension of disbelief. But Newman doesn't do his things fluid enough for me to suspend my disbelief. It takes me out of it when I'm watching the match. Because there'll be a good sequence, and then he'll hit like the most atrocious move afterwards, and I'm like, well, this takes me out of it.
That was a lot of the Tsuji match, was getting into it and then being taken out of it. And then getting into it and then being taken out of it. I agree with that. I really do. At the same time, I think that this is something New Japan has decided to do recently. I don't think it was so... Like, I agree, like, it is fucking frustrating that none of the War Dogs got this chance when they could have been twice as hot as the Empire is right now if, given that chance. I think this is kind of probably more knee-jerk, like, we have to do something now.
Yeah.
Because those guys left, and they were able to some fucking how sign Newman onto a 3-year contract under this new, trying to not do the purely annual thing. He was the first foreigner who was like, fuck it, I'll sign on multiple years. So even, with him today showing up on AEW, there's no, like, fear that he's going to be even able to leave anytime soon. He can't. He's tied down for 3 years now. And I think, too, there's that feeling like, well, fuck, if we've got you could say if they've got the guy for that long, why rush? You could also say, we've got the guy for 3 years. We need to, like, really get to work on making him a star. I don't really think Callum is ready for that right now. But I can see him being a guy that is able to get better in the limelight. I think that is a serious possibility. I have been saying for a while now, for this whole past year, 2025, that I thought the man was getting better. I think he's got really good heel sensibilities. I think he knows how to rile up a crowd, and I think he has a lot of other fine qualities as a wrestler. But I agree with you. He doesn't know how to always string things together. He doesn't know always how to make things kind of look and feel real. I just, I don't know.
I don't think he's a good promo. I don't think he's a good promo yet. Like, I think he's very, like, rudimentary. Like, he doesn't feel confident in anything he says half the time. Other than, like, when he first came back for the Finley stuff. But, like, ever since his world title stuff, I don't feel like he's a confident pro. Which, like, as your top heel, you gotta be. You know, like, that's your guy that you have to. I don't feel like he's. I mean, this is just pedantic stuff. But, like, that render with the title, man. The render they put of him. They're setting him up, man. They're setting him up for failure. He looks like a little kid who was handed a really cool title. I think, like, and I also think his, like, even his gear and stuff, like, I just think it's, like, every aspect of him. There's so many little, it's not even, like, the craziest term, but it's, like, there's so many little things that add up to a picture of, like, this is not a complete guy. This is a wrestler who's still finding himself, who's been thrust into this position, who I honestly don't think is ready for it. Like, I think you didn't have to switch it here. You could have held it. You could have switched it on to, you know, I don't know if you just fully ready, but Yuya or Shota or something at Dominion. You could have done a surprise switch and then tossed it back to Tsuji. Because this is all it is. This is him holding a title for a couple months. He's going to drop it back to Tsuji before the G1. He's going to wrestle the G1. He's going to turn on Will, and they're going to have their match at Wrestle Kingdom. That is his year output right now. That is what he is going to do. So.
That's exactly what's going to happen. And it's a thing, like, Callum Newman, I think, will improve. I think he will improve. I think he'll improve rapidly. Some people don't think that. I think he will. And this is a thing, another reason, you know, I can kind of defend it. Because he's probably going to be dropping it right back to Tsuji, which in a way, you know, people are saying this made Tsuji look weak. I think in a way, him winning it back quickly almost is more of like a, hey, this is, you know, our guy now sort of thing. If he takes a loss to a heel, then vanquishes this new top heel. I think that works really well for Tsuji. And I think, too, that forever now, for, you know, the next 3 years you have him maybe into the future, you can introduce him as, you know, here's Callum Newman, former IWGP heavyweight champion, youngest IWGP champion in history. And that raises him up to a level that he would not be otherwise. The Ospreay program will too, but that especially. And this is something that we all know Gato has done for years. It's an old trick to establish the new sort of antagonist. He did it with Styles right when he debuted to fill the gap left by Devitt. He let him. He didn't win the New Japan Cup, but he won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at this same pay-per-view. It happened with Naito after coming back as El Ingobernable. He won the New Japan Cup and then he won the fucking championship at Sakura Genesis. Newman is obviously not an AJ Styles or a Tetsuya Naito, but it's a great way to, you know, get that feeling of like, hey, anything could happen at any time, and give those guys a boon for the rest of their whole career. It's classic sort of New Japan, and
I'm happy. I'm happy you're into it, man. I'm happy for you.
No, I'm here to, debate it with y'all.
Well, like, the other thing, too, about Newman for me, and what's always irked me about him as a wrestler, is, like, I pay attention to a lot of British wrestling, especially Rev Pro. I know most of the names. I've kept the check marks on a lot. And I maybe heard, we talked about this before. I maybe heard Newman's pop up like once, and now this guy's the world champion, and it's mainly because he's Will Ospreay's literal, like, people say he's an Ospreay clone. They're wrong about that. Him and Ospreay are different wrestlers, but he is Ospreay's protege, and he is very much getting the nepotism rub because of that.
I think it's safe to say that he is the biggest industry plant wrestler of all time, to be honest, at this point. Especially with the Dynamite appearance that happened an hour ago. How the fuck? Why could he not get this to work with Fletch? Why? Why did we not get world champion Fletch in within a year?
Well, to be fair, Fletcher wouldn't have been ready for that either. Like, he's just now, he got injured. He's out for 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
But Fletch, when he left New Japan, was not ready for that. Davis was more ready for it than Fletch would have been. If he would have stuck around and had this rejection, then oh my gosh, Kyle Fletcher as a champion right now would have been insane. Mm-hmm. But it's funny. I think back to that Fletcher and Ospreay steel cage match where a lot of people were like, "This is way too over and indulgent." And I'm like, if you think this is overindulgent, you just wait till you see the Ospreay-Newman match, because it's going to be the most self-jerking-off match I've ever seen, between these two guys. They're going to pull out – Ospreay's going to pull out all the stops for this kid he trained, and it's going to be it's one of those matches where I know I'm going to watch it, either you're going to absolutely love it or you're going to absolutely hate it. There is no in between. There is no meh. You're I love what these guys are doing. You're like, this is the death of wrestling, type thing.
Dude, they did try to, like I said, I didn't mind. I thought it was a good match. They did absolutely try and do some real cinema bullshit into that match. Cooper, I don't know if you saw it, because I don't know how much you saw of this. Did you see what I'm talking about?
No.
I saw the curb stomp.
No. So what happened was Newman has been, having Zane J hand him a chair to win a lot of his big matches lately. He gets that to sort of, he signals for Zane to do it, and Ospreay pulls for it. He pulls it away from him. And all of United Empire sort of looks like they're about to turn on Will then and there, even the old school guys. And Newman runs over to see what's happening. And Will does the thing where he yells loud enough for the fucking camera to pick up. He's like, don't do this. You're better than this, bruv. All these things, all this shit.
Shit.
Oh my god! And he ends up, getting Newman to not do it then and there, and then he does it sort of behind his back later on with a low blow too.
He won the match with a low blow. Into
so there you go. That's what we've got. To look forward to with the Newman Ospreay angle. It's funny I'm bringing that up now, because one of the main reasons I was about to sort of defend Newman from your charisma vacuum stuff, because I do think that's kind of true. I think he doesn't have aura, for what it's worth. I do not think he has aura. But I do think, and this comes from somebody who's watched New Japan religiously for about 4 years now, who's been a big fan of it for longer than that. I think while Newman might not be that interesting as a top heel, I think the United Empire arc in general is the most interesting thing going in New Japan right now. I think the idea of them being sort of on top of the world with Ospreay, the dog pound cage happening, and them totally losing their way, becoming genuinely a nothing faction for 2 years, and then having to sort of climb their way back as pure heels, with them all feeling kind of burned by Ospreay, leading into sort of beating down the War Dogs, then getting Ospreay back and being unsure of him, is he just coming back because we've got Glory again, or does he really care? How betrayed do we feel? All this tension, I think, is really fucking interesting. I think it's really good. I think it calls back to the best, the best that Bullet Club drama ever got. I think it's just fucking compelling, and I can't wait to see where it goes. A lot of people suspected that Osprey would just get turned on here, but they did something a lot more interesting with it. That's basically how I feel. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I'm sorry. I really do.
We are missing Akira John Moxley minutes on Dynamite, by the way.
I know, I saw that.
What a sentence I thought Logan. I would never say. I did watch this match with Jack. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, I think me and Logan have said about all we can say. One person has been so conspicuously silent during this whole thing.
Okay. You guys said a lot of stuff. And I have a perspective on this that airs negative.
Yeah. Sure.
He's trying to be coy about it, Jack.
No, it's
okay. I mean,
I think this is good. We hardly ever, frankly, disagree on stuff to this level. I think this is good.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of, Jack, hit the nail on the head. I mean, about the charisma stuff and how he's not quite there. And, to some people that might be kind of whatever in their ideas of who to put your world title on. But I don't know, man. For me, it is kind of fucking tops, really. Like, it is going to sound harsh, but I'm going to do it. Antonio Inoki, Ricky Choshu, Big Van Vader, Muda, Hashimoto, Chono, Tenryu, Takayama, Kensuke Sasaki, like Callum.
Yeah. And Cooper, it's funny. I don't know if you saw this either because I know you didn't see so much from this match, but this happened literally after they finally brought back the Parade of Champions video package before the match.
Oh my god! Really?
So we got to see all of that leading into this match. Right I know.
That's not what these guys are.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, look, times change, and the kinds of wrestlers that those wrestlers are I don't know, maybe not super in vogue. Oh, I don't know. I think you can still have a Vader like champion. I think you can still have a Hashimoto like champion in the modern day. I think wrestling would benefit from it.
I think people would be very into Bolton Oleg championship.
Absolutely,
right now,
absolutely.
They wouldn't be.
I would have no fucking problem whatsoever with a Bolton Oleg hot shot title reign. My real thoughts about this really have actually quite little to do with Cal Newman. Most of my thoughts on this have to do with Yota Tsuji.
Yeah.
And I cannot help but, being a student of history, recall Yuji Nagata.
Oh,
as I so often do.
No, that's fair. Because I brought up all this stuff. Like, I was like, oh, remember when they did something like this and it worked with Styles? And remember when they did something like this and it worked with, Naito? But that is fair. There's plenty of examples in New Japan, too, of champion, prospective top guy losing early and it ending up basically being a wasted career. No offense to you. Yeah. That's probably harsh, but you know what I mean.
No, not quite. But I mean, yeah, never in the company's eyes, never the era defining champion. Maybe to the fans, maybe years and decades in hindsight, but not at the time. And what did that Wrestle Kingdom victory mean? You know, what did it mean if really, at the end of the day, all that you got out of it was as much as we have a demented soft spot for him, a fucking hilarious match with Jake Lee, and then nothing like, you know, and I haven't watched it, but from what you guys have described to me, a not particularly interesting loss to Callum. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not saying it had to be, 365 days. Like, you know, I think that way of booking things is maybe outdated too. But what I am saying is that you had this time. You had this time, presumably, I hope to God, planned out before you put the belt on him. You knew how long you wanted to have him as champ. So make the most of your fucking minutes, please.
Yeah.
I just can't help but feel that momentum drop. And, you know, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that he can pick it back up with relatively little problem. But, you know, that is dependent on a company that has not necessarily gained my trust recently.
No, that's fair, Cooper. And I mean, I hate to, again, I'm trying to be the positive one and provide a different perspective, but I do think your point is sort of made clear by the fact that, you know, this has annoyed me a lot more than the Newman Championship win. The fact that what Tsuji has coming out of this is a fourth Global Heavyweight Championship match with Gabe. Right. I'm happy to see Gabe back. I think his new character is great and clever, but I don't want to fucking see that match every 3 months until the end of all time.
In case of emergency, fucking ring the alarm. But and I like that they're adding this new wrinkle to it with Gabe. I mean, but once again, everybody's fucking talking about Gabe. Who's fucking talking about Yoda? You know, in this. And I don't blame Callum for being in the position that he is. This is that's out of his control, you know. I think, and I'm a listener to the Voices of Wrestling flagship podcast, and those guys on that show annoy the shit out of me with how positive they are on Newman. And they think he's like great right now, and that, you know, they are ecstatic about this. And I just I've been listening to that for like the course of a year, and constantly being like, really, fucking when am I gonna see this? And you know, that's not even getting into, you know, the nitpicky stuff, like how much he looks like Alex, and
he does. He really does. You know, it's funny.
He wore on Dynamite. Dog?
Yeah, Alex, you made his Dynamite debut.
You know what's funny? Like, we were, you know, I was saying, like, I was doing basically hourly checkups with Logan when we were in lines at Epcot. I would just sort of look over and be like, Logan, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion right now is Callum Newman.
It was what was very funny is we did not drink around the world, but we did have a couple drinks, and Jack had his first drink at this restaurant, and we're sitting beside each other, and he finishes his drink, and he just turns to me and he goes, "What's up, big dog?" And I'm like, I could tell this man's already tipsy. And he just okay, so we get there, and me and him immediately start shooting wrestling talk. And I could tell it was making some people uncomfortable because they didn't know what we were talking about and why we were talking about it so much. So I'm like, okay, let's tune it down. But we said it at first as a joke. We didn't say it for a couple hours. So after this, he turns to me and he goes, "Logan, Callum Newman is the IWGP champion." And I'm like, that's true, man. And so, for the rest of the trip, every couple hours, we just turn to each other and be like, "Jack,
can you, can
you believe it?"
And the reason I bring this up, the reason I bring up the hourly checkup is because at one point the checkup included this picture of Osprey like meeting that 16-year-old Newman. Did you see this picture?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, what I showed it to Logan, and Logan was like, he looks exactly like Alex did in high school before he grew the beard.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of Alex like pre-beard in high school. I'm like, he looks exactly like him.
I know.
It's like scary. Did you see the people that were like trying to discredit Newman by saying he was like 30 secretly and all this stuff?
There were some people trying to say he was faking his age,
which is hilarious.
That would be really funny.
Hartley Jackson,
worked youngest champion ever, would be amazing.
Hartley Jackson said on Twitter that he was in the dojo at the same time as Fujinami.
Oh my god!
Oh, I love Big Jag.
Yeah. Cooper, honestly, you've provided sort of a perspective that I get, especially with the fact that I think we can all agree that they like objectively did flounder the potential of Aaron Wolf coming out of Wrestle Kingdom, and I know that's a big reason why you're like so upset with the company right now in the first place. Yeah. Yeah. So I get that fear. Honestly, I totally do. I feel like yeah.
I mean, I raised that point to also say that, you know, I am not going to rule out the possibility of Callum Newman getting good. Like, you know, sure, yes, that's possible. It's possible that I will like him, but that's like, you know, way down on my list of priorities when I'm thinking about, you know, what I think a good booking decision in wrestling is right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about right now. And you know, like, and I think he I do see something. I don't know what it is, and I don't know that he knows what it is. But yeah, sure, there is maybe something there. He's 20. He's younger than me. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we're.
But I think the kind of instinct to rush this belt on him, I think, unfortunately, to me, rings truer to New Japan's frantic booking nature, as opposed to any kind of real trust in Callum, which I would love for it to feel the opposite, but it doesn't.
Yeah. I feel that way. Well, I don't know. I can see why you would feel that way, but I was about to say sort of what I was going to say is like my send-off thought about this whole thing is that I think I'm happy about it because the main thing that bothered me about New Japan for the past few years is not the fact that there was no like central ace figure, more than it was the fact that it just felt like nothing at all was happening for a very long time. And this is absolutely something happening. It's something really crazy happening. It's not like they had Tsuji drop it to like for another Zack Reign or for like Tomohiro Ishii nostalgia reign. As much as I would love to see that in the future, like this is like I can see the fact that they're trying to sort of get over new units to replace the old ones with Unbound Co. And I mean, United Empire is not new, but the new version of it feels fresh. And so I can see that. Like I think they're trying
Unbound
to establish.
Unbound is kind of taking the Chaos place. UE is kind of taking the Bullet Club place.
They kind of are, but they're full of
House of Torture place.
That's true. They're filling archetypes, but they're filled with new blood and new people at the top. Um, IMO. So I just think that I don't know. I think that I can sort of see a vision, and I'm hoping that, my hopes are closer to true than your fears. So we'll have to
Sure,
wait and see.
sure.
We'll have to wait and see what
Yeah.
happens in the rest of this year.
Yeah, I'm glad that you place so much trust in.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Um,
Hey, things ain't much better in my spot.
no, that's the saddest thing about all of this is that like dog shit is happening across the board in wrestling as a whole right now.
Yeah.
But we can stop talking about this. I think we've all gotten our points across, and we can talk about the fact the strange fact that both none of the guys that were being rumored to be in Best of the Super Juniors are in there, but they did do some fucking crazy guest entrance anyway. So we
Yeah.
can talk about Best of Super Juniors a little bit and
Honestly,
wrestling on
that
Taku before we move
that
on.
was the one thing from this show that I did like genuinely like pay attention to, obviously.
Yeah,
Because it's just a graphic. And I
right,
think it is the most interesting thing, genuinely, to have Jun
I know, I
fucking
know.
Kasai.
Junior Kasai is in there. I don't know what's happened because everyone's like, "Oh, Dai is leaving," and pissing off Dragon Gate
Okay,
to be in New Japan, but then they picked a different guy who's sticking with Dragon Gate.
yes. Here's what I think happened with that. I think Daya fucked himself with how he
You think
went
so?
about
Do you
that.
think they?
I think they were like, okay, we need to get away from this at least for a while. Let this die down because you caused all kinds of mess for
I
us.
know they're like, guys, it's it's United Japan Pro Wrestling. Remember, we would never do something like that. Oh my god,
But yeah, and they got Hyo,
who is so much better than
who
Dragon
was
Dai.
fucking great actually. And
So I can't complain. Can we actually somehow, convert this guy into quitting and turning all over the company? He's really good. I love Hio in all the showcases I've seen of him.
yeah, uh,
Oh man.
this Super Juniors lineup is genuinely like maybe the most interesting they've had in like
Yeah.
fucking a decade. Like, holy shit, man. Obviously I would have loved Fuminori Abe, but I'll take the crazy monkey. Hell yeah, sure. Now the real question is, Logan, I cannot hear you.
Oh, I can't either, Logan. I was totally thought you were just letting us have this moment.
Yeah. Well, he was zonked out on the couch for a while, but Logan, can you say something? Oh, that man is
He's super frozen right
out
now.
of there. Yeah. Well, I'll let him figure that out, and I'll keep talking about fucking how much I hope that every Jun Kasai match in this tournament is a no ropes barbed wire light tube death match.
I don't know what else is he gonna do. I mean, no,
Yeah,
not
like,
no, no,
is he
no
gonna
offense to
wrestle
Kasai.
again?
Like, yeah, he's great, but I mean, what is he gonna wrestle New Japan Junior Heavyweight style? He didn't when he challenged for the belt. He went fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's truly awesome. What's awesome too is he's not even in the same block as Despy. It's like all completely new
I'm really glad that
matches.
they did that. Actually, yeah.
What is Ryusuke Taguchi versus Jun Kasai gonna look like?
Exactly. Is
He's
he
gonna break
is
a tube on his ass. What? Shit, now you're both frozen. No, it's okay. I think you're coming back. Cooper, what'd you say?
Oh, I was just asking what are the block breakdowns? Do we know?
Sure. I'll run through it real quick because that was kind of overshadowed by a million tweets just saying that Jun Kasai is in there at all. So yeah, A block we have Wado, Taguchi, Fujita, Robbie X, Akira, Doki, Titan Valiente, Nick Wayne, and Jun Kasai. And then in B block, we've got Despe, Kushida, Yo, Robbie Eagles, Ishimori, JAY, Sho, Kanemaru, Hyo, and Daisuke Sasaki. So it's pretty evenly split, to be honest. Nuh-uh. There's a lot to be excited about in both blocks this year. I think they did a great job, sort of um, keeping them fresh. This could be tournament of the year. It looks awesome. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how the G1 shapes out, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, this is the most
C2,
exciting
I
it's
guess.
been in years. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it is incentivizing me to watch, which is saying something because I'm probably the
Yeah.
lowest on New
Yeah.
Japan right now. But it just goes to show how I mean, not only just the injection of new faces, but I think also, as much as I hate to kind of admit it, the removal of some old faces. I'm primarily thinking about Hiromu and kind of how
Mm-hmm.
for the longest time for me at least, the Hiromu blocks and matches of the G1. I felt like I didn't need to see any more of it really, and that's not to say that he couldn't pull it out every once in a while, but it really clogged up that at the by the end of this I was gonna see either him and Despe or him and Ishimori or whoever else, and like honestly, like hey, that one year it was fucking Watto and Teton.
That was a
like,
great match.
That was incredible.
Great match.
And what?
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's back. Logan's
He's
back.
back.
I fixed it.
Just to talk about
Nice.
Watto Teton.
I want to state, I was not asleep. I was just resting my eyes. I was hearing the conversation and letting you guys have your moment. And I was like, oh, I can talk about Best Super Juniors. And I was like, oh.
No, you don't. You don't get to talk about it.
Yeah. So luckily that shouldn't mess up too much of the recording because I didn't talk for that bit anyway. So, yeah, but keep going, Cooper. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, I was just saying, I think that having not only the new names, but also kind of this exodus of talent might be more of a blessing in disguise for New Japan than some hardcore fans might want it to be. But yeah, like I just I mean, yeah, I'll probably break my my vow of abstinence from New Japan for this one at least. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it'd be great. I think that there's a lot to be excited about, and it feels pretty wide open too. So I'm really looking
I
forward
was
to
about
that.
to say, do we want to make a way too early prediction about who we might see taking it?
I would, if Doki wasn't champion, I would 100% be picking Akira. But
Ooh, yeah.
it's weird, the idea of heel versus heel. I think, Despe could always win it, even if it would be a little annoying.
But
Yeah. I think Watto is a big, front runner. I think people want to see him get that big win. I don't know, man. I feel like even like the guy like Teton could actually win it this year. I don't know. It just feels crazy. Like there's a lot of juniors that New Japan thinks very highly of, but have different, commitments elsewhere. Um, but I feel like any of them, like if you the same way they did with Dragon Lee back in the day, like if they committed to being around for a little while, they would want to do a lot more with like the luchador guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I guess I'd pick Watto, because I don't think I'm gonna pick Akira unless somehow we get the title off Doki before. Like, what if? Because he's defending against fucking Tiger Mask next. Maybe Tiger Mask gets the title for like a legacy run, and then Akira like puts his ass in the ground or something. That'd be fun. Um,
Right.
so yeah, Logan, do you have any more to say about Best of Super Juniors? Because otherwise, I'm gonna
Yeah, we
run
have.
down the stuff for. Okay.
Yeah, A block is the fun block, and B block is the Despair block of despair, as someone's pointed out, which I thought was pretty funny. Um,
That's a little harsh.
no, I think it is too. That's my boy. I dressed up as him for Halloween. I just saw that and thought it was funny. All right, continue, Jack.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna run down sort of what's happening for. Oh well, two big things happened actually. Um, this week we got G1 Climax 36 logo reveal and schedule, which is always fun. Um, it's nothing too crazy, except for obviously the Chicago show, which I still am hopefully trying to get out to, even if my two fake ass friends aren't interested. No, I'm kidding. Money is serious. It's a thing that really exists. Just like the last time they did a G1 night in Chicago, they're doing or a G1 night in the US, they're opening up with it and then doing a week break and then starting kind of the regular tour a week later. So it's Chicago on July 11th, and then we pick up at the Hokkaido Kitty in Hokkaido, like they often kick off the tournament in for a doubleheader on August 18th, or I mean July 18th and 19th. Then we go to Sendai Sun Plaza Hall, Miyagi on July 21st. Then to the RA Nagaoka in Niigata on July 22nd. The Ota City Gymnasium for July 25th, 26th. Then Yamato Arena, Osaka, July 29th. I did not intend to fucking do the whole thing, but I'm gonna have to do the whole thing now because I started. Takamatsu City Gymnasium, Kagawa, July 31st, in Sun Plaza, Hiroshima Sun Plaza Hall, August 1st, Fukuoka International Center, August 2nd. Then we have Korakuen, August 6th, Yokohama Budokan, August 8th, Jimese Gunma, August 9th, Nisho Highway Arena in Sioux City, which is a weird, like, small city that they have not gone to in, I think, genuinely a decade plus. I have no idea how it got added to the schedule this year, but maybe it'll be fun to see a totally new crowd. Then we've got Act City Hamama. What? Sorry.
Oh no, I just said damn.
Yeah, damn, it's weird. I don't know anything about Sue or those people. We've got Act City Hamamatsu in Shizuoka on August 12th. Then semis in Korakuen August 13th. Or no, I mean quarters in Korakuen August 13th. And then we are back after last year being in the whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even remember. But anyways, they're back in Ryogoku properly, like they should be for the G1 finals on August 15th and 16th. Um, so that's cool. I really like the logo.
Yeah, I think
Oh
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
the like graffiti logo.
Yeah, it's super cool.
yeah, I think
It is like some of the best branding that they've had in a while.
Yeah, it's neat. So, anyways, moving on to Wrestling Dontaku this year, I don't want to talk about every little
Well,
match,
we
but
can
hit.
we can
Okay.
save. We got Dontaku in the next coming weeks, and we still got a lot of
Oh,
AEW
true.
stuff.
That's
We
fair
could
because
we could
it's not
save it.
like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
be any New Japan stuff for 2 weeks, so we can run over the card next week. That's a good idea. And let's get into
CMLL.
oh,
If Cooper wants to talk about CMLL, because it is Cooper's.
stay
Well,
home.
I was not going to actually, but funny enough, as Jack was running down the G1 schedule, I did just find out that apparently, and this was made official on CMLL's Twitter just like not even an hour ago. that starting Friday, April 24th, they will be airing on Fox Sports 2 in Mexico, which is a big fucking deal, actually, because that is the same network I think that AEW airs on in Mexico, and is not. I think Fox Sports 2. I don't think it's the same exact channel, but I know AAA has been airing on Fox for a little while since at least the WWE acquisition, but it is like a pretty big fucking broadcaster for sports in Mexico, and so CMLL has just announced that they will be on there, so that's pretty massive actually to just drop in the middle of the day, or I guess this late at night that we're doing it, but so that's really all that I need to talk about there. The show is going on long enough, so unfortunately I will have to restrain myself from talking about all of the Arena Coliseo Anniversario show, which was great and you should watch, specifically Joa and El Solar doing a real throwbacky classic lightning match in black and white, which was just like absolutely my shit. It was really good. But I think we can move on to the dub, as I dub parentheses derogatory in parentheses.
It is funny that we started the wrestling week with the Jericho stuff, and like by the end of it, I'm like, it's not even that bad compared to everything else.
No, right? Now it's kind of like whatever. No, actually, though, I do think this is worse than like the Cal Newman thing.
Okay, this is my in defense of this thing. Real quick. Do I want to see Jericho in AEW? No, but the thing is, ultimately, he was very instrumental for when the company started. He was
Who gives a fuck?
Tony Khan
Who
does.
gives a shit about that, dude? It was 6 years ago.
Tony Khan does. I think Jericho.
Tony Khan's a fucking moron.
I think.
Suck my dick. Cut that.
I think. You're like, wait, cut that. No, you don't want to put that. I think Jericho, depending on if he goes the full Dustin Rhodes route, or we see him sporadically, he's used
that
to get.
That brother is not going the Dustin Rhodes.
But I'm saying if he did that, I think he has something to offer. Not anywhere near what he was before. He should not be getting regular pay-per-view programs. He should not be on TV regularly. He should be every once in a while bring out the old-timer act. But I know that's not what we're going to get. He's already got a pay-per-view match for Dynasty. So, but yeah.
So what's your defense, though, actually?
My defense is I still think he has stuff to give back to the wrestling industry. I still think he can be a tool. The thing about him being a tool, though, is it has to be like what works best for AEW can't be what works best for Jericho, which it has been since he joined AEW, and especially in the last couple of years, where it felt like Jericho really wasn't helping anybody. It was just you get sucked into, like the Cody vortex now became the Jericho vortex, and anybody he touched didn't really come out of it much better.
This shit is exactly why I'm more positive on Newman than you two. Because why the fuck do we need Chris Jericho back in AEW in 2026 after all that has happened? And I'm not even just talking about him being like a kind of shady, bad person. I'm talking about
setting aside all that shit. He fucking sucks now.
That's just Jericho now.
Yeah, dude, like there was a brief little window there where he could still really pull it out and have a really great match You know, and it wasn't even that long ago. I think like even like by like 2022, he was still having those kinds of matches. But man, life catches up to you fast.
He's 55, man. Him
like a fucking freight train. Yeah, like you say that he can offer something to today's wrestling world, you know, given a very specific sort of set of circumstances, but I just don't know that he can really.
I mean, I could see it if he literally like gave up wrestling and just became somebody's spokesperson. I think that has value. But as an active competitor, like what the fuck?
And like, you know, I saw some people being like, oh, he wanted like the WWE, which like let's be true. I think this guy was 100% going to WWE. Because you know the one thing I will say about Chris Jericho is that he can always typically kind of tell where the winds are blowing. Right, that has been a skill that he is pretty adept at. And so I think he saw how much, you know, hype and attention WWE was getting, really wanted to be a part of it. I think was very close to getting in it, and then had some misgivings, saw kind of once again how things were shifting back in an AEW friendly direction, and decided, you know, that he was better off in the long term, you know, making a stay there, which like I have conflicted feelings about. Because it means the WWE is down and AEW is up, but I wish that he had made his decision a little bit sooner. I just think that, you know, this guy, like, I understand that Tony Khan is loyal to people who have done him well in the past, and that's perhaps an admirable trait, maybe. But you know, I just do not understand. I cannot make myself understand or care about you know, Chris Jericho's whole entire thing. I mean, like, you know, what he means to AEW, what he means to Tony Khan, what he means to professional wrestling. I there was a time when, yes, that mattered very much to me. That time is long gone, and I think it has for most people, quite frankly. I don't think you're getting any of the Attitude Era nostalgia pops anymore. You know, well, evidently you're not. Let's talk about the fucking segment, by the way. Let's talk about how dire that return segment was. In his home fucking town.
Rough.
And bringing back Judas to barely anybody singing along. Like about as much of a handful as were in the, you know, goddamn Gas South Center in Duluth, Georgia, the time that we went to, or no, in even worse yet, in that fucking Savannah, Georgia auditorium that me and Logan saw when Noru Suzuki and fucking Adam Copeland wrestle in. It was like that amount of people singing Judas, which, like, you know, it's just, I mean, and you could see it on his face. Like, he knows that this is done. Like, you know, and people have always said that that he's so good at adapting and introducing and changing his character and evolving over time. I don't know that that's really true. You know,
he's got like a 25% batting average. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Like, he'll get a new catchphrase, I'm sure, and he'll get a new thing that he can put up on his Tron and have a shitty little talk show segment to theme around. But like, I mean, ultimately, it's the same fucking guy, and I've seen about everything that I'm gonna see with him. You know, I doubt that you're gonna put the world title on him again. I doubt that you're gonna put any title on him again. What I just I think that AEW as a whole could benefit really from cutting so much of this fat from the early days. Um, you know, I don't give a shit if anybody was a day one guy. You know, if you are not currently serving this company to, be the best that it can be, I don't think you need to be here. I'm sorry, Kip. Say, I'm sorry, Sammy. Like, I don't give a shit about any of that kind of stuff. What have you done for me lately? Which, might seem harsh, and it is, I guess. But as a fan, that's where I come from, kind of. And yeah, so this sucks. Chris Jericho sucks. I'm not gonna watch pretty much any segment that he's in unless it involves, I don't know, maybe like Kenny Omega or something, like, it doesn't involve somebody else that I do like, which in that case, then that's a bigger sign of this company's decline than any Nielsen ratings number.
No Golden Jets. No Golden Jets. No.
They got cut off from their chance at glory, Logan.
Thank God.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's about it for what I think about that. Dynamite as a whole, I was fine with, I suppose. Not particularly thrilled about anything. Although I will say there was. Oh wait, no, never mind. That was last week's, because I was thinking I pulled up my match of the year list to see if there was anything on it. No, I was just seeing the Darby Allin versus Roosh match from last week. What was on Dynamite this week? Let me pull it.
Mike Bailey versus MJF in the main.
Oh yes, that's right. Which was a very good match. I like that match quite a lot. Not quite match of the year level, but really, really fun. You could tell, like, I would have loved to have been in the live crowd for that. I thought that Speedball looked incredible in it. It's maybe, aside from like that Revolution triple threat with Kenny and Ricochet, maybe the best Speedball match in AEW, I think.
Really? Better than the Fletcher match from the C2?
Too long.
That's fair. What did you think of Ospreay Pac running it back?
It was good. It was really good. Once again, not quite match of the year level for me. I think there's so much story shit with Will's neck, which, like, I get why they're doing, but also it does kind of make me worried, like, the pay-per-view wise. Just like not necessarily worried about like the decision, because I think Ospreay's probably gonna win it, but like just how that match is gonna be structured, to have Pac focus so much on the neck, and now, like, is Mox just gonna focus on the neck again? Okay, I mean, sure, he can, but I think maybe you should make it a little more interesting. But I thought the match itself was fine. I mean, I expected kind of nothing less from those two. So, but yeah, I'll tell you what, I did kind of like the opening little contract signing bit when they got into it with Kenny in the gear.
Yeah, Kenny in the gear was funny.
Yes, and what else happened?
We had Mina and the Brawling Birds defeating Triangle.
Which finally, yes, Collision is canon again. It's been built largely on collisions, I feel. But yeah, I thought that match I thought was pretty good too. The only match really that I didn't give much of a shit about was honestly the Kenny and the trios.
Yeah, Kenny, Perry, and Brody versus the Demand. Yeah.
Yeah, my eyes just kind of really glazed over on that one, which is a shame because I like all the guys on the face team and I like the Demand. Okay, but yeah, just not much going on there. Willow Nightingale, I will say, announced her open challenge for the following Collision on that show, which was then answered later on by a returning Hikaru Shida on Collision, which I think is maybe something, depending on if Shida wants to actually stick around this time or if she wants to go back to, I don't know, streaming or whatever she does.
Yeah.
Which she's not in AEW, so. But yeah, fine enough little Dynamite from nowhere town in Canada.
I will say this was very funny to me because I was refreshing my memory and looking at the AEW results. And one of the things they have like pinpoint stuff, it's like Will Ospreay attacks Mox, all this stuff. And it says, Darby Allin calls out MJF, then sees God.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny, a way of putting that,
Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I do not fucking want to see a Darby Allin versus MJF match.
So you're hoping Big Ken just strips that belt.
He better. But yeah, so that Logan, unless you have any additional thoughts on AEW weekly programming, I think we should probably go ahead and get into these predictions.
Yeah, one last thing. I'm very happy to see Queen Aminata back. So,
yes, absolutely.
Universe. Since we're not really going to probably talk about much of Dynamite this week because we're recording while it's on, but I'm going to go back and watch that match because those are two of my goats. Apparently, Shida was in the crowd for it watching, so she might stick around a little bit longer. Do a little tour, But anyway, let's go ahead and get into predictions. I am the champion. Just won it. Probably will end up losing it after this. Cooper and me are two-time champions. Jack's one-time. We're hoping to keep him that way. We can't have him. It can't be more of his big week.
Oh man!
But that
is not fair.
This is on the Wikipedia, so I'm going on the match order on the Wikipedia, and if you're mad about it, get mad at them. You have Alex Windsor versus Marina Shafir. I assume this will probably be on the pre-show. They kind of set this up tonight because Windsor is now, I guess, officially a member of UE. It looks like because she was back in her man Will Ospreay and is getting involved in Marina. So I'm going to go with Marina. Setting up a match for the Rev Pro Women's title at the next big Rev Pro show in London or something. I don't know.
I think Alex needs to watch out. It did not go well for the last woman that Ospreay brought with him into United Empire, both in real life and in storyline.
Oh my god!
No, but no, but seriously, I think Alex will probably be taking this one.
Yeah, I think that honestly, this might be the most competitive of the UE versus Death Riders feud. That we're going to be seeing. But I mean, like coin flip. Marina has been kind of on the backslide lately, I think, after the way too drawn out Tony thing. So, but I think that they are still going to want to, keep her relatively heated up as a big dominant heel in the women's division. And Windsor, on the other hand, has always got the Brawling Birds to fall back on, which, I would not be surprised if we see a bigger push for them in the tag scene. So I think I'm probably also going to go with Shafir.
Moving on, FTR versus Cope and Cage, or Cage and Cope, or whatever you will, for those AEW World Tag Team Championships. I hate to say it, Tony Khan did bring back Jericho this week. He is stupid, and political power is crazy, especially when your name is Christian Cage and you have so much goodwill, and then you have Cope on top of it. They're taking these titles.
Yeah, no, E and C are fucking definitely winning. IMO, and we're gonna get a sweet AEW 5-second pose after. It's gonna totally reek of awesomeness, right?
Right.
That's exciting in 2026.
Well, fellas, what you have both failed to consider is that AEW is holding a show in Wembley Stadium later this year, and I think that Tony is going to restrain himself for the time being and let FTR, those terrorists, have at least a little bit longer with them, and then I think the big emotional payoff of the old timers finally winning the belts is probably going to happen at the biggest show of the year.
So I gotta wait another 4 months of this feud, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying it's got to be this feud. I mean, they can, have some little defenses in the meantime against some other people, but you are going to have to come back to this later. Yes, I am saying that.
Yuck. Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay for the Continental Championship. Time limit draw.
Yeah, no, I guess I'll do the same. It worked out with the Takeshita match just recently.
Was both of yours? Were you both going with draws?
We're both going with the draw.
Both with 30-minute.
Oh, okay.
I just did it because I don't have a lot of. I have to save the brain power I'm going to devote to this predictions.
Sure. Will Ospreay is going to win every match that he has for a while. So, this is going to be one of those matches that he wins, I think.
For the Continental?
Put me down for Ospreay. I don't know why else you fucking convinced me.
All right.
I think he's right. I think the man's right. I'm changing it.
That's all right. That's okay.
Why would Mox doesn't lose anything losing the Continental. I mean,
I just don't think he's going to carry that into Wembley unless he's going to bring back the unified, I guess, with the world, which I don't know. I still think he's going to. We'll see. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Andrade El Idolo versus Darby Allin. I've answered the first couple. I'm going to make you answer first, Cooper, because you've been reversed.
Well, now look, you failed to mention the stipulation of this match.
Yes, if Darby wins, he gets a future world title shot.
Which, unfortunately, as though I said earlier, I did not want to see a Darby Allin MJF match, and I still don't want to see that. So pencil me in for the main event. But I do know that Tony Khan does love this little emo boy for some reason, and keeps threatening to have him win the world title. So, you know, I know how he beats the sexiest man in pro wrestling. I don't quite know, but I think he will unfortunately manage to find some way.
I do.
When did the world turn on Darby? I kind of missed this. It feels like it happened so quickly.
I don't think it's necessarily anything with Darby. I think it's mostly just that like the AEW roster has had such an injection of in more interesting faces since he's been gone. You know, and like I don't know, like I'm not gonna say it would be unbelievable for him to conceivably win the world title at this stage, but I mean, it does not feel like he does not feel like world champion status to me.
Fair enough.
I think. Sorry,
oh.
go ahead.
I was going to just say that I think that he does feel like world champion status to the man booking the show.
Oh,
so I'm going to pick Darby in this one. I think sadly that we might find out very soon that Andrade is cool as fuck as he is again, you know, with the new gimmick and the new duds and the new crowd support. I think we might be finding out very soon that in fact he is not viewed much more highly still than he was the first time. I'm picking Darby.
I'm also going to not sleep because my head's on fire. I hate creeps and I hate liars. It's going to be Darby, and he's going to win by some roll up or bollocks like that. Same way he did with Gabe. And to answer your question, I think the crowd turned on Darby. The crowd turned on Darby when he went to Everest because they had basically, in true AEW fashion, as they always do, bookmarked Darby to probably beat Mox. That's what everyone felt for the longest time. And when people were getting tired of the Death Riders thing, and he had feuded with the Death Riders forever, he went to Everest. And then that's where Hangman was just, it's too perfect. And, you know, they gave him the title, which I think another moment of like a possible, you know, putting you at the top of the mountain passes him by. I don't know. I think if he continues his MJF run, I can see him getting the world title. But also, Big Ospreay's back, and Wembley is looming. So, I think he might win this and maybe get MJF keeps throwing stuff or something keeps happening where he basically keeps getting postponed. I think if he gets the world title, it'll be after Wembley. It'll be him beating Ospreay or something like that. Anyway, moving on. The AEW Women's World Title, Tekla versus
yawning right before the Women's World Title match. Interesting, Logan. Interesting.
I've been yawning this whole podcast, so you can't call me out for that.
He was yawning every time his brain went to having to discuss the women's matches on the show later.
Not true. I said, anyways, moving on while yawning, and I waited till I finished yawning, and then I said the AEW Women's World Title match. Tekla versus Jamie Hayter. Tekla. Don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, I don't have to explain this. Tekla's winning.
Yeah, no, you're right. And go with it too.
Casino Gauntlet match for the vacant AEW TNT title. We know Tommaso Ciampa's going to be in it. We don't know the rest. Jack, we'll let you go first.
Shit. Okay. This is for the what is it for?
Vacant TNT title.
Right. Okay, cool. Oh my. Fucking, I don't know, Juice. I guess Juice. First name came to mind.
All right.
All right.
It's down.
Cooper.
Yeah, just keep it there. That's not happening, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I could like go for a real wild one, but you know, it helps that I do like Ciampa a lot, so I'm probably just gonna be safe and go with the man that is already announced for it. That tends to be how these things gonna go with these battle royals, with the Ricochet thing, the national title, and all the other stuff. So.
Yep.
Is there
Returning
anybody else in the segment that
Mascara Dorada.
Yeah, Dorada. I don't know.
Returning Kyle O'Reilly.
Ooh.
I'll go bold. I think it'll probably end up being Ciampa, but I do think it'd be interesting if Kyle returned. He had all that momentum before he got injured. He wins the title, and then you just have Ciampa and O'Reilly just killing each other on every other collision. Would be awesome for me, personally. I think that'd be awesome for you too, Cooper. So,
very much would.
The Young Bucks versus the Don Callis family team of Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. You know what I should have actually picked? I should have picked Mark Davis, but I'm still stick with O'Reilly.
I think O'Reilly has a better chance than Mark Davis at getting that belt, I'm afraid.
I don't know. I could see it. I'm going with the Young Bucks because Okada and Takeshita hate each other.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I heard that they're going to be doing this match and then the Takeshita Okada match right after. So it would be funny if they sort of were able to win this match and then still go and face each other, but I don't really think that's going to happen. I think the Young Bucks are going to take it.
Well, the traditional logic would say, yes, that the Don Callis team here, they cannot coexist, so to speak. But I will say, I think that Tony Khan, at least, Okada himself might not have as much of an issue with this, but I think Tony Khan would worry at this point about pinning either Okada or Takeshita, especially in the lead up to their big match on his show, to people who are not either of those two guys. The Young Bucks are not going to see Okada or Takeshita ever again after this, and they don't really have anything to gain from winning. I don't think this is a number one contendership or anything for the tag belts or anything like that. They might bullshit some kind of stipulation onto it afterwards at the pay-per-view, but as of right now, I don't think it's that. So I'm gonna swing big here, and I'm gonna go for Takekata, I guess.
All right.
Heard that. All right. Cooper's favorite match of the card: Jericho versus Ricochet. Cooper, tell me who you think's gonna win.
Why is it just Jericho now?
I don't know. That's what he's walking out to.
That's really funny. It's really funny.
No, I think his name is still Chris Jericho.
on his AEW Undertron, it just said Jericho today.
Okay, whatever. But
I mean, his name IRL is still Chris Jericho.
It's not. His name is Chris Irvin.
Is it Irv? Yeah. I was saying that out loud, and then I was like, fuck, I gotta look this up. And I sadly realized right as you were saying it, Irvine. Okay, sure. Yeah. My bad. It seemed like a reasonable real name to have.
Yes, it's not the most far-fetched. Well, God is dead, and we have killed him, so Chris Jericho is winning this match.
Check.
I think that there's no way that Jericho loses his return match, especially to Bama Ricochet. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the cornerstone for this one.
Aha!
Bum.
That's
Bum. Bum.
We are three white men, in case you did not tell our listeners.
Fine, I'll go with Jericho. Big, 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 break the walls down. All right, main event. MJF, the God, Kenny Omega. Give me Big Ken. Cooper?
Ooh, I'm glad that you are taking the leap with me, brother. Because if it's not Kenny Omega, you ain't seeing me on this show.
Hey, I feel you there. Well, don't worry, because even if you skip next week, the week after, in celebration of the only important thing happening that weekend, Record Store Day, as you are the Mr. Record Store himself, undisclosed record store that you work at, we're going to do wrestlers' best music that a wrestler's ever put out tier list. How about that?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that'll be a treasure trove of mostly Japanese recordings.
You just wait, brother. Be a man? Come on now.
Oh, yeah. Be a Man is up there for sure. Had a Record Store Day release.
True, that is true. I almost bought it. I obviously Barbra Streisand's Nose by the great Terry Funk will be up there.
Wait, so we're doing
music,
individual songs? Or?
We are doing just, you can do we can talk about, we don't have to like listen to the full album, but just like, I want each of us to do a draft of our favorite wrestlers' songs, or like just wrestlers' performances, you know. If they released the whole album, you can claim the whole album. But like,
that's insane. You got to pick one.
Okay. We'll say it like this. We'll do songs, but once you pick one song by that wrestler, you can't pick any other songs by like said wrestler. So like if I click Macho Man's Be a Man, that's the only song I get, and nobody else can pick Macho Man's songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Understood. Much
yeah.
better.
Okay. Jack, all right, Kenny or MJF?
I'd love to like be with y'all and think that Omega's gonna win this. And I mean, on some level, I can understand like logically, Osprey versus Omega is a huge like main event for their show. But no, I just don't believe it. It's far too good to be true. And the realist in me thinks that Omega is never winning that world championship again. And I think that MJF's run on the top with all the PR they've been having him do.
He was just on the Adam Friedland show.
That is true.
He's just been everywhere. I mean, even with this, like, the indie stuff, and just sort of, he's been all over the place. And I just think that that's sort of a sign that he's going to be champion for a little bit longer. I don't feel comfortable picking Omega, and so I will not.
Well, he's got the run of the indies after Big Omega just takes that belt from him. He's going to have nothing left. He's got to wrestle all the indie crappers over there because Big Ken's taking it. Good.
I don't think we talked about it, but the Nemeth match did get canceled mid-show. So.
Yeah, I saw that. I almost said something, but we were in the middle of something. Yeah, I got canceled. MJF Open Challenge, and hilariously, after I said earlier that he was supposed to wrestle Bear Bronson and didn't, that show now featured Bear Bronson versus Nick Nemeth. So
Slater versus Ricochet also has been pulled.
We still got Galileo Del Mal versus Bandito, right?
I mean, I assume so. But I don't think.
Not on the.
I don't think Galileo Del Mal is signed to TNA.
Well, he signed to AAA, so.
I mean, we'll wait and see.
I can't believe. I mean, I'm not shocked. When they announced Slater versus Ricochet, I was like, that just can't happen. Who's gonna win that? You know,
Ricochet, ideally.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. But like, I knew WWE was not gonna go for that. WWE had Leon Slater on John Cena's final show. They're not letting him lose to Ricochet on an indie. But anyways, anything else you guys want to say before we hit that outro?
Not really.
I think I have exhausted all of my energy and brain cells on this episode. So
great, because I almost fell asleep on this episode. So let's get this outro going.
You bastard! I knew that you fell asleep.
I didn't fall asleep. I was awake and I was listening to the conversation. But I'm not gonna lie, I was like, "Oh my gosh, man!" I'm like, "We got another hour and a half." I'm feeling it. I don't know why. I'm just been so. It's because Jack took all my sleep in Orlando.
I've been struggling too. Yeah,
I slept for 10 hours the day I got back. I went to sleep at 8 p.m. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for listening to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. That is it for us this week. We will be back next week with that Dynasty recap and a few more hours of rousing wrestling content. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Strongest Style on Twitter, me at @ByLoganHurson, Jack at Average Darth. Cooper doesn't have social media, but Cooper, any last words?
I feel like I have to make my point clear.
If you're
this was a lot, folks.
You can find us on all your podcast platforms of choice: YouTube, Spotify, Apple. If you are listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you are listening in India on YouTube, we appreciate you specifically dearly. We will see you guys later. Goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang!